All right, what is going on, guys? UFC 314 has gone and passed, and this is going to be a new series I'm going to be doing after every pay-per-view. I'm going to be going over what I think the notable things are that we learned after the event. Starting off with the main event, Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez. What did we learn from this fight? Main thing we learned is that Volk probably still has it. He's probably not at the level he was. I would say height, peak Volk was probably the third Max fight, somewhere in there. Maybe the third Max fight, the Islam fight, and then the Yair fight were probably peak Volkanovski. And then after he took that Islam fight on short notice, got knocked out, and then therefore after the Ilya fight, that's kind of where he started going on the decline. I still think he is, obviously he's the best currently in the division outside of Ilya. But I'm seeing a couple people that might give him some issues, but until I think Silva's probably going to be the hardest fight for him. I don't see Mobstar being able to give Volkanovski too many issues, as well as Lerone Murphy. Those are really the two people coming up at featherweight right now that I think would give Volkanovski, or that Volkanovski would be facing sooner. I think you really only have those three main people. You have Murphy, Evloev, and Silva coming up. So Volk still has it. We found that out. But he, in his video, I watched the video he uploaded, I think today. He was talking about, he was kind of worried about his chin and wanting to make sure, he did take a shot. He did get dropped. We do have to acknowledge that. He did get dropped by Lopez on at least one occasion and stung pretty bad on another, but he did take it. He did not go out cold. He did not get knocked out. So I don't think his chin's completely gone, because we know Diego does have very good power. He knocked Brian Ortega out and then woke him back up. So he does have one-shot knockout power. What does this mean for the future of Volkanovski? I see him being able to probably, I think he'll be able to beat Mobsar. Then I think he will be able to beat, I think that will be about the time we'll have Murphy in there. I don't see anything from Murphy that I don't think Volkanovski can't handle. Again, unless, this was a one-off performance from Volkanovski, or maybe Lopez just isn't on that level that Mobsar and Murphy are on. Obviously, Lopez has a loss to Mobsar, but he did take that fight on short notice. I believe it was 5 days notice. So we'll kind of have to wait and see how that goes. As far as Lopez, I do believe he's still a top 5 featherweight. A loss to Volkanovski is not a bad loss to have. So his really only two losses in the UFC are to Volkanovski and Mobsar. And I got the rankings pulled up. Mobsar is ranked number 4. He's only one spot behind Lopez. I'm sure after this fight they will update the rankings, and I would assume at least flip him, because he has a win over him. So it only makes sense. Curious if they will keep Ilya and Max in the featherweight rankings, even though they both say they're moving up to lightweight. Who knows? If you watch my Fights to Make video, you saw who I'm pairing Lopez up with. Not Yair. And I truly believe, in that matchup, potential matchup between Allen and Lopez, I see Lopez winning that fight. And depending on who's champion and kind of what the division's looking like, I see 2 to 3 more wins for Lopez, and he'll probably be right back in the title picture. Okay, moving on. Let's go to Chandler. Where's he at? Let's actually look at the rankings. Chandler is number 7. Okay, so he's number 7 right now. What did we learn about Michael Chandler and Paddy Pimblett? My biggest takeaway is that Chandler wasted so much time kind of on the back end of his prime waiting for Conor McGregor, and that fight never materialized. Of course, they were going to have it, and then McGregor pulled out with 2 weeks away from the event, something like that, 2-3 weeks. He wasted, I don't remember his exact age, but he's 38 now, 37. I believe he was around 35 when he started doing the Ultimate Fighter and started doing the whole journey to fight Conor McGregor and all that crap that went on with that. And I think he's done. I really don't see Chandler having much success in the lightweight division or the welterweight division for that matter either. Maybe he could stay in the top 15, maybe. But if we look at some of these names in the top 15, if he doesn't knock Dariush out, which, I mean, he didn't knock Patty out, I could see Dariush beating him. I see Moicano beating him. Fiziev, maybe he could win that fight. Grant Dawson would beat him. I'd pick Ignacio Bahamondes to beat him. Benoit Saint Denis. I'd probably lean him to beat Chandler. Gamrot, I think he's beating Chandler. Hooker beating Chandler. I pick Poirier again. I pick Holloway. I pretty much pick everybody to beat Chandler in the top 15 right now of the lightweight division. So I don't really see him staying around in the rankings that long. Patty's already going to take his number 7 ranking. So I don't really know where Chandler goes from here. He wasted valuable time that he can't get back now. So now all he's going to do is probably look for fun fights, exciting fights, and hopefully the UFC doesn't. I mean, I could care less. But, as far as him, hopefully he doesn't get cut from the UFC. And I don't think that will happen, even though he's only won 2 fights in the promotion. He's always in exciting fights. He's a company man. He'll do whatever they want him to do. And what can you say? I mean, Patty beat him up for 3 rounds and finished him in pretty brutal fashion. It was a very exciting fight. So I don't see, from a promoter's perspective, why they would cut him outside of he's just not winning fights. Moving on to Patty. What does the future of Patty Pimblett hold? So I think we definitely learned he's definitely a top 10 at lightweight. But, I think he's starting to improve more from, when I think of Patty Pimblett, I'm thinking of the Jared Gordon fight, where he was getting clipped up by Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon just doesn't have any power. He couldn't do anything to Patty. And I look at his rise through the rankings. He essentially completely dominated. Outside of the first round was slightly competitive. I did give Chandler that first round. He completely dominated Chandler in the second and third round. I mean, and it was a brutal beatdown from Patty Pimblett. But I think he kind of got a hand-picked way to the top 15. I mean, to get into the top 15, he beat Bobby Green, which was a very easy fight for him to win. Then he goes on to fight Chandler next, which, again, if you're looking at the rankings in this top 15, I think as far as how high he could get with the ease of fight, I definitely think Michael Chandler was probably the easiest fight they could have given him. I could see him now after I seen that Chandler fight. Before Moicano fought Islam, I probably would have picked Moicano in the possible matchup. Now I'd probably flip. I would probably be picking Patty in that fight. I would also probably pick Patty to beat Beneil Dariush. I think Hooker would beat him. I think Patty could probably beat Gaethje. Poirier's a 50-50 fight. I think Holloway's a 50-50 fight. And currently, if he gets matched up with Armin or Charles, I would pick either one of those guys to beat Patty Pimblett. So we're going to see if Patty can if he can crack the top 5. Hopefully he can crap on the top 5. We'll see. I definitely think Patty Pimblett versus Islam Makhachev, just saying how he went in his last fight against Chandler, I think that would definitely be a very exciting and fun fight. Patty moving forward to see if anybody can beat Islam. Because right now, I mean, he's lost 1 fight and it was a fluke KO loss. Looked really good in most of his fights. But yet again, we have to take into consideration the ease, if you will, of competition that he's had through the rankings. But I will be very excited to see him against the top 5 opponent next. The only other thing I would be okay with is if he fought Ilya. But I think Ilya is probably going to want someone higher up in the rankings if he doesn't get an immediate title shot. Speaking of that, Patty gets one more win in the top 5. He deserves a title shot. No matter what I think about him, as long as he keeps winning fights, he's going to earn it. Let's go back up to featherweight. So, John Silva just beat Bryce Mitchell. And What does this mean for the featherweight division? What can we take away from that? I saw him, which I probably should have pulled it up and put it on the screen. He posted this long, like 2-page thing where he's tweeting at Dana White in the UFC that he deserves a title shot. He's got 5 wins in the UFC, 5 finishes in the UFC. You know, he's just beaten one person in the top 15, and he's already gunning for a title shot. While I think that'll be a very fun and exciting fight between him and Volkanovski, he does not deserve it yet. We have Mobstar that deserves it more than him. I mean, if you're just going down in the rankings, Murphy has more ranked wins than Jean Silva. Definitely isn't going to be Yair like he's winning. But do I think Silva can earn a title shot? Yes. I think if they want to fast track him to a title shot, make the Brian Ortega matchup. Do him versus Yair. He's ranked even higher than Ortega. Heck, you could even do him versus Lopez if they want to throw him with someone up there even higher in the rankings. Again, the rankings are going to get adjusted tomorrow, so we don't know exactly where everybody's going to fall. But he definitely can earn his way up the rankings. They just need to throw him up there with someone higher if they're wanting to fast track him. Because no way, shape, or form does he deserve. You know, presumably he's going to be ranked number 13. He does not deserve to fight for the title. One ranked win over Bryce Mitchell. That's not going to cut it for me. Sorry. Hopefully the UFC does not do that. Moving on, going to light heavyweight. Dominic Reyes is back. He's on a winning streak now, all by finish. Goes from getting finished in like 3 or 4 fights in a row, I think one of them might have been in decision, to 3 straight finish wins. And Nikita Krylov is a solid win, is coming off of a 2-year layoff. So, you know, it kind of has a little bit of an asterisk next to it, but a very solid win nonetheless. I think if he gets one more top win, and again, it kind of depends on how long he wants to wait for what opponent and what matchups the UFC wants to do, he could definitely be in the title picture very shortly. Because you're going to have Pereira and Ankalaev rematch. Then Olberg has kind of already solidified his title shot with the win over Jan Blachowicz. So I think one more win for Reyes, and he's right in the title mix. Again, I never thought I would see that Dominic Reyes could potentially fight for a belt again in his career. And I don't remember his age off the top of my head, but I think he's kind of older. I want to say he's 34 or 35. So this is kind of one last run at the light heavyweight title. Do I think he could get there? Yes. I think he's going to be very calculated and very measured. We saw that in his last fight. He was doing good, but Krylov was being sloppy. And I don't think some of these guys in the top 5 are going to be that sloppy. I mean, he clearly left himself open. And Reyes, with he's got good fight IQ, took advantage of the situation that Krylov put himself in, and Krylov paid the price for that. So, you know, looking at some of the people up in the top of that light heavyweight division, I think Pereira would start him out cold. He already has a loss to Yuri. Although I do think he could win over Yuri, just how wild and crazy Yuri fights. I think it's still a winnable matchup for Reyes. Same with Jan. I mean, if they want to do the rematch with Jan's getting older, he's getting slower. He still has good power, though. So Reyes would definitely have to watch out in that rematch. I've seen some people online kind of say maybe you could do him versus Rockage. I think Rockage would probably knock out Dominic Reyes, not going to lie there. But Reyes is coming back. It's nice. It's good to see him on a win streak. Let me know in the comment section down below, what did you learn from UFC 314? What did you take away from it? If you guys are new, make